It's Tuesday, May 17th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with a look at the latest local news today. Rob Adams will have your Nutmeg Sports Update and a look at the forecast, and Donald Eng will take a look back on this day in history. But first, for the third time in the last 4 months, Bridgeport resident Geraldo Maldonado has been arrested in Trumbull. Trumbull police said Monday that the 20-year-old Forest View Road resident was arrested on 4 separate warrants consisting of 4 counts of burglary in the 3rd degree and possession of burglary tools. Police had several open burglary investigations in the area of Maldonado's Forest View Road residence, and a search warrant for the residence was obtained. And through that initial search, Trumbull and Bridgeport police were able to recover some jewelry that was identified by his previous victims that was taken from their homes. This successful search triggered another search warrant that permitted police to look into Maldonado's cell phone and retrieve his DNA. The DNA tested matched some that was recovered from one of the burglary scenes, and he was charged. Back on February 2nd, Maldonado, who was seen burglarizing a Trumbull home, led police on a chase that resulted in a temporary lockdown of several Trumbull schools. Police arrived at the scene and thought that Maldonado was carrying a handgun when he ran away on foot. It wasn't until he was confronted by officers later that he dropped the weapon, which turned out to be a BB gun. And in other news today, for the second time in 4 months, a Westport man was arrested for wielding a weapon after he held a hatchet up to his front door Monday and refused to come out, according to Hearst, Connecticut media. After police responded to what they called a minor civil dispute at 35 Richmondville Avenue, Kyle Owen and Carrie Owen went inside the house, according to Lieutenant David Farrell. Farrell said that Kyle Owen then came to the door holding a hatchet and refused to come outside. He was yelling and swearing at officers and was seen walking aggressively in the house. Farrell said it was determined that Kyle and Carrie were in the home with their juvenile child. Officers immediately set up a perimeter on the house and evacuated neighbors to safety. The Southwest Regional Emergency Response Team was called in with tactical officers and negotiators, police said. Negotiators were able to make contact with Carrie Owen, and after about 30 minutes, she and Kyle Owen came out of the home shortly before noon. Officers had to take Kyle to the ground as he attempted to run back in the house. Both were charged with risk of injury to a child and interfering with an officer. They're scheduled to appear in court on May 26th. And a huge flash lit up the sky across New England around 1 a.m. Tuesday morning. Hundreds of people across the region reported seeing the flash, which was likely a fireball, a bright meteor or object that enters Earth's atmosphere. NBC Connecticut reports that the site was captured on police dash cam video in Portland, Maine. It illuminated the night sky for just a few seconds before fading away. Also, residents in Connecticut in towns like Seymour, Hartford, and Meriden also reported seeing the night sky illuminated with the fireball. The Portland, Maine Police Department made light of the fireball, writing on Facebook that the meteor or alien spaceship was caught on camera. They said, "Let's hope the visitors are friendly. They could just be some of Stephen King's friends on their way to visit him." And Hartford police are investigating a double homicide that happened late Monday night. According to WFSB, officers were called to the scene near Campfield Avenue and Cowles Street. They said calls reporting the incident started coming in around 10:30 on Monday. Officers identified the couple as 22-year-old Joshua Cortez of Hartford and 23-year-old Alicia Ocasio of Newington. Police said the incident was likely due to boyfriend-girlfriend relationship issues that had escalated among several people. Cortez was found in the street while Ocasio was found seated in a vehicle. A perimeter was established in the area that remained in place well into Tuesday morning. Police said Cortez was pronounced dead at the scene around 10:40, and Ocasio was taken to a nearby hospital where she was later pronounced dead. Both were victims of apparent gunshot wounds, according to investigators. And in New Canaan, Narcan, a drug with the power to counteract opioid overdose, was administered by paramedics a total of 8 times over the last 2 years, according to Norwalk Hospital EMS coordinator James Brubaker. Of those 8 incidences, 5 were successful reversals of an opioid overdose. Brubaker said that the other 3 incidents where Narcan was administered to unresponsive patients were found to not be opioid-based. Narcan is also known as Naxalone. Between 2009 and 2014, there were over 2,000 accidental and unintentional opioid-involved deaths that occurred in 150 of Connecticut's 169 cities and towns. New Canaan Chief of Police Leon Krolikowski told the Advertiser that opioids of every form are in town, and we have made arrests in the past year for possession of heroin and oxycodone. Krolikowski said that although there were no instances of opioid overdoses in the last year where Narcan could be administered by police, Narcan is a part of New Canaan's arsenal against an extremely addictive and dangerous family of drugs. And a 26-year-old Fairfield man is accused of trying to eat marijuana to hide it from police during a traffic stop, according to the Fairfield Citizen. The Citizen reports that police responded to a complaint about a car being driven erratically, and Daniel Chris of Vermont Avenue was arrested after officers found 2.59 grams of marijuana in his car. Police said that more marijuana fell out of Chris's sleeve, and he had leafy green particles on his lips and refused to open his mouth and began chewing. The officer then forced Chris's mouth open, and a second request was denied, according to the Citizen. And in New Canaan, Sarah and Charlie Robinson of 4 Carter Street, the site of one of the oldest homes in New Canaan, are replacing a barn that dated back to the late 1800s with an antique barn transported all the way from Hancock, Massachusetts, which was broken down into sections for interstate transport to the Robinsons' backyard. The New Canaan Advertiser reports that the barn was being assembled on May 16th. According to the Robinsons, the main structural pieces date back to the 1820s. The design calls for shingles on the outside and walls with a metal roof. Well, we're going to throw it over to Rob Adams now for a look at the forecast. Rob.
All right, to the forecast we go, Kate. We're getting there very slowly. We've got a slight chance of rain today afternoon. It's a cloudy day with a high near 68 and the wind out of the southwest from 6 to 10. But that chance of precipitation, only 20%. Now, it grows a little more as we head to tonight. A chance of rain, 40%. A cloudy night, low 49. We move to Wednesday, chance of rain before 9 tomorrow morning, partly sunny and 67 for your high. But again, the chance of rain is only 30%. We've got a big baseball game tomorrow up in Danbury, so we certainly want to have some nice weather. Partly cloudy for Wednesday evening, low around 48 to Thursday, mostly sunny and 68. Looking good into Friday, sunny with a high near 71, sunny and 69 for Saturday, sunny and 69 for Sunday, and mostly sunny and a high near 70 on Monday. Gotta love those temperatures. Right now, Greenwich, you have 64, Ridgefield at 62, and here in Shelton, 62 degrees, Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Donald Eng takes a look back on this day in history. Rob has a Nutmeg Sports update, and we have some more news coming up after this.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances, where community comes first, a place where there's more than one kind of interest, where automation will never replace consideration, where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Had a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or go to coastalorthoexpress.com. That's coastalorthoexpress.com. Like them on Facebook.
A Better View Window Cleaning Plus has been cleaning glass all over Connecticut for over 20 years. They also specialize in cleaning chandeliers, mirrors, skylights, tiles, and will power wash anything that needs cleaning. They hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and are fully insured and bonded. When you deal with a Better View, you're dealing with the best, not the rest. Call today for a free estimate, 203-284-8836, or visit them online, abetterviewcleaning.com.
Hi, I'm Rob Adams with my good friend Donald Eng, and we're the home team for Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 o'clock right here on the HAN Network. We are the place for all things Connecticut sports, so come hang out with us on Nutmeg Sports. Don? They don't call him the best color man in the game for nothing. Nutmeg Sports, 2 o'clock, Monday through Wednesday, right here on the HAN Network.
We're back on this Tuesday edition of your coffee break on the HAN Network, and it's time to take a look back on this day in history with Donald Eng. Check it out.
A Friday commute ends with a crash. But first we go back to 1536. The marriage of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn is annulled. More on that a little bit later this week, but suffice it to say that Tudor history is fascinating and that displeasing Henry was not especially conducive to a long life. It's probably a coincidence, but also on this date, in 1536, Anne's brother George and 4 other men were executed for treason. To 1875, Aristides wins the first Kentucky Derby. One of 2 horses entered by Hal McGrath, the other being Chesapeake. Aristides was supposed to be the rabbit and go out and force a fast pace so Chesapeake could stalk the front runners and come from behind to win. Aristides, though, kept increasing his lead until there was no chance Chesapeake could catch him. At the middle of the home stretch, jockey Oliver Lewis, knowing he wasn't supposed to win, looked over the rail at McGrath, who waved him on to the win. 1939, the Columbia Lions and the Princeton Tigers play in the country's first televised sporting event. That is a baseball game in New York City there. You can see the artist's conception. 1954, the Supreme Court hands down a unanimous decision in Brown versus the Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas. The court essentially ended state-sponsored segregation by ruling that having schools separate for blacks and whites was inherently unequal. And finally, now we go to 2013, just a few miles from here, for this.
Tell us what you saw.
As I walked up, I just saw lots of rubble, and then I saw this one cart, and it was completely just like destroyed, and they were pulling, people out of the cart. And then, they had broken body limbs, and they were all bloody. And
We were told by a spokesperson for Metro North that it happened at around 6:10 p.m. That's less than an hour or so ago. It was an eastbound train collided with a westbound train. No reports of life-threatening injuries. There are some reports of non-life-threatening injuries. The New Haven line is suspended, we're told right now, in both directions between Stanford and New Haven.
That, of course, a Metro North commuter train in Fairfield derails, then is struck by another train, injuring 72 people. Phenomenally, no fatalities in the crash. Hard to believe that was 3 years ago. That is your look back in history, and I am Don.
All right, thanks so much to Don as always. Time to throw it back over to Rob Adams for a Nutmeg Sports Update. Rob?
All right, Kate, thank you. We were at Nathan Hale Middle School last night in Norwalk as the hometown Norwalk Bears hosted the Fairfield Ward Mustangs. Let's go back to last night, take a look at the highlights. Hey everyone, I'm Rob Adams, and tonight the Norwalk Bears take on the Fairfield Ward Mustangs, who will bring it home with a 1-1 with 2 out, and it's driven down the left field line, trouble, and back and toward the fence, and it's over. It is gone. The ball got up and it carried. Maniscalco a 2-run homer. It's 2-0 Ward. So with 2 out, here's Marco Montero. He grounded the third his first time. He rips this one. It's a high fly ball to left center field. It's over the head and 1 hop off the wall. Retrieved by Brancato. Rounding third, coming on to score with a double by Marco Montero. Searle scores, and it's a 2-1 ball game. 2-1 pitch with 2 out. Pulled to the left side, and a diving stop at third. Can he make the throw in time? Got it over there and dropped by O'Hara at first. It's going to be an infield single for Myers and an RBI to make it 3-1. He cannot win it. He can only lose it. 3-1 ball game. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball. High fly ball to left. Going back Ortiz. Still going. And it is over the wall. Giacomo Brancato got just enough of it to get it over the fence. A 2-run homer, a big shot, and it's a 5-1 ball game. A junior stands at the plate. Slightly open stance. 1-2 pitch on the way. Swings and misses. 10 strikeouts in the 5th inning now. And he brings it home. Got him swinging. 14 strikeouts. 2 away. Looking out for you, Kevin.
Should have packed a glove.
Here's the 2-2. Reached for it. It goes up the middle. Ranging over to grab it. Jack Myers sets and throws, and the ball game is over. So the Fairfield Ward Mustangs come to Norwalk, and they're able to get a 5-1 win. John Natoli went the distance on a 4-hitter, and as you saw, 14 strikeouts. The Mustangs clinched an FCAC playoff spot, and they improved to 10-6 on the conference season. Reese Maniscalco and Giacomo Brancato had home runs for the Mustangs. The Bears dropped to 9-5 in the FCAC. Elsewhere on the scoreboard from yesterday, it was Danbury picking up a 7-3 win over New Canaan to keep their FCAC hopes alive. Sean O'Malley homered for the game's only run and threw out a base runner to end the game as Darien beat Greenwich 1-0. Ridgefield got an 11-7 win over Trumbull as senior Austin Carfey was the hitting star. He had a double and a triple and drove in 3. Ludlow over Stanford 10-2. It was Staples all over Trinity Catholic. That is an accurate score, 24-3. So it sets up Staples and Danbury tomorrow for a winner into the FCAC playoff kind of take-all game. We'll have it on the HAN network. Ward over Norwalk 5-1, as we said. St. Joseph 10. Central 0, and Wilton falls to West Hill 1-0, and that all but eliminates the Warriors, the defending champions. On to softball now. Danbury got a 9-8 win over New Canaan. Darien by 2 over Greenwich. It was Stanford, a 1-run win over Fairfield Ludlow. It took 5 innings for the Mercy Rule. St. Joseph over Central 15-1. Staples 7, Trinity Catholic 1. Ward over Norwalk 5-1. West Hill doubled up Wilton, and Coach Jackie Sheffs picked up her 300th career win as Taylor Brown had 3 hits and drove in 2. Trumbull over Ridgefield 9-3. Moving to boys lacrosse now, Bethel doubled up Danbury 14-7 and Ward over West Hill 14-3. In girls lacrosse, a 1-goal win for Brookfield over Danbury, Bethel in overtime over West Hill, and Norwalk over New Milford 12-5. From the boys' tennis scoreboard from last night, a shutout win for Staples. Greenwich got a 6-1 win over New Canaan. It was Wilton shutting out Norwalk. St. Joseph a 6-1 win over Trinity Catholic. Ward 6-1 over Amity. Darien 5, Trumbull 2, and Ludlow beat McMahon 7-0. On to girls' tennis now. Staples picked up a 7-0 shutout win over Danbury. New Canaan and Greenwich played to a good one, a 4-3 final as the Rams and Cards split the 4 singles matches, and New Canaan took 2 of 3 doubles to get the victory. The Rams will be 3rd seed in the FCAC playoffs. Darien shut out Trumbull. Ridgefield a 6-1 win over Stanford, and Wilton beat Norwalk 7-0. From boys golf, a 5-shot win for Staples over West Hill and Norwalk, while Darien took care of Ridgefield by 14 strokes. New Canaan over Central, and Danbury beat McMahon. We move to girls golf now. Emily Cohen shot a 45 to pick up medalist honors. Darien beat New Canaan by 4 strokes. It was Ward over Wilton, and Danbury beat Ludlow. To boys volleyball now. Greenwich over St. Joseph 3-1. Ridgefield shut out Danbury 3-0. Darien 3, Staples 2, and Fairfield a 3-2 win over New Canaan. To the schedule today, just 2 baseball games. You have Whitney Tech visiting Central at 3:45. Trumbull hosting Darien tonight at 7 o'clock. From softball, it's Norwalk at McMahon at 4 and New Canaan at Staples later on at 6:30. From boys lacrosse, Ludlow hosting Trinity Catholic, Darien at Stanford, St. Joseph at Brookfield, Danbury home for Norwalk, Greenwich at Trumbull, and Ridgefield at New Canaan. On the girls' side, Danbury at West Hill, Staples at Stanford, Ward at St. Joseph, Darien home for Wilton. New Canaan visits Longmeadow, Massachusetts, Trumbull at McMahon, and Ridgefield at Greenwich. Back to 4:30 now. It was a 4 o'clock start, now 4:30. That will be right here on the HAN network. Boys outdoor track and field includes New Canaan at Darien, St. Joseph at Wilton, Greenwich at Staples, and Ward and Ludlow, which is also girls outdoor track and field as well. You've got boys tennis and girls tennis to keep you occupied, as well as boys and girls golf, and St. Joseph at Greenwich in boys volleyball as we wrap up the regular season for a bunch of those sports, and then the final day tomorrow for a bunch more. With sports, I'm Rob Adams. See you later for Nutmeg Sports and for girls lacrosse as well. Kate, back to you. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Thanks so much, Rob. Well, getting back to some more news today. A driver was killed Monday night after his car struck a tree on Route 53 in Bethel. The man was driving near the Reading border around 11:30 at night when his Toyota sedan went off the road, hit a tree, and caught fire, according to police. Emergency crews extricated him from the car and took him to Danbury Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The victim's identity is being withheld pending notification of his family. The cause of the crash is under investigation, but any witnesses are asked to contact police at 203-743-5500. And in other news today, nearly the entire senior class at Colby Cathedral High School in Bridgeport was told to go home and change Monday when they came to school dressed in their pajamas. According to Hearst, Connecticut media, some seniors already had a change of clothes with them. Others complied with the order, while still others just stayed home and marked absent for the day. Student athletes who failed to return to school were not allowed to compete in sports Monday afternoon under school and Southwest Conference rules. According to Brian Wallace, a spokesman for the Diocese of Bridgeport, each of our high schools handle senior pranks in their own way. Wallace said parents were emailed to give them a heads up about the plans, although the event still came as a surprise to some. Despite what some students have claimed, school officials said they are not taking away any senior privileges or class events as a result of the prank. And you can join supporters of the Spooner House on Saturday, May 21st, starting at 9 a.m., rain or shine, to take part in the 19th annual Walk for the Hungry and Homeless. Registration will be at the fountain at Division Street in Derby, beginning at 8:30 a.m. with a 9 a.m. kickoff. Participants are asked to make a minimum $20 donation to receive an event t-shirt and goodie bag available to the first 250 people who register. All participants will be receiving a ticket for a drawing with over 30 prizes available from area restaurants and businesses in the valley. The entire walk is 3.4 miles along the Naugatuck River, but participants can travel any distance they choose. All that money raised will go toward the hungry and homeless initiatives provided by the Spooner House Homeless Shelter and Food Bank. Well, we are going to step out for a break. When we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following today on your coffee break after this.
I think what makes ONS special is that it has everything that makes academic medicine great. We have the fellowship-trained specialists, but we still bring the style and type of medicine that's indicative of a community practice.
We are all trained in our area of interest and expertise, so our patients see a doctor who specializes in their particular injury.
I did have 2 consults with major New York City hospitals, but I just felt that the care was best here. I was treated like a rock star. The surgery exceeded any expectations that I had.
Mosquitoes, ticks, gone. Guaranteed. That's what Mosquito Squad guarantees as America's most trusted mosquito and tick control company. Locally owned and operated, over 90,000 homes have been protected by Mosquito Squad using their dual protection method for season-long protection, which includes barrier spray service for eliminating mosquitoes and adult ticks, as well as supplemental programs to increase tick control. They use only USDA organic options, which are safe and non-toxic. Contact them today at www.squadctny.com or 203-893-4309. Mosquito Squad. No bugs, no bites, no kidding.
Alberto Londano Professional Painting, Wallpapering, and Carpentry has been serving Fairfield County for over 20 years. Based in Norwalk, Alberto takes pride in his work by offering you only the best quality service and products. Call Alberto today to get a free estimate and be one step closer to a new and exciting home makeover. 203-866-9635.
Do you need help reaching or maintaining your fitness goals? For over 20 years, Mike Pernice has tailored his time and expertise to clients on both coasts whose schedules demand flexibility and accountability. Mike is a certified lifestyle manager and has been called upon to help his clients eliminate negative behaviors such as coping with stress, improving their time management, setting realistic life goals, and cutting down compulsive behavior. If you're ready to start working toward a more energetic, productive, and healthier you, call Mike Pernice.
Today's coffee break is brought to you by Summer at Worcester, a program of Worcester School in Danbury. Now with longer hours and new programming, Summer at Worcester provides an opportunity for children ages 4 through 8th grade to develop academically and athletically in a safe and positive environment. Worcester School encourages curiosity, promotes leadership, applauds teamwork, builds confidence, and fosters respect. The small camper-to-staff ratio is ideal for achieving these goals. Situated on a serene 150-acre campus that sets a superb backdrop for the perfect camp experience. Summer at Worcester is in session from Monday, June 27th through Friday, August 12th. Find out more at summeratworcester.org or call 203-830-3921. Summer at Worcester, experience the difference.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter, and I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune in to Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
We're back on this Tuesday edition of your coffee break on the HAN network. Are we back? Okay, we're back on this Tuesday edition of your coffee break. Recapping some of the top stories that we're following today, including that for the third time in the last 4 months, Bridgeport resident Geraldo Maldonado has been arrested in Trumbull. Trumbull police said on Monday that the 20-year-old Forest View Road resident was arrested on 4 separate warrants consisting of 4 counts of burglary in the 3rd degree, possession of burglary tools, among several other charges. Police said they had several open burglary investigations in the area of Maldonado's home, and they obtained a search warrant for his residence. Through that initial warrant, Trumbull and Bridgeport police were able to recover some jewelry that had been identified as stolen from some area homes. That successful search triggered another warrant that permitted police to look into Maldonado's cell phone and retrieve his DNA. The DNA test matched some that was recovered from one of the burglary scenes. Back on February 2nd, Maldonado, who was seen burglarizing a Trumbull home, led police on a chase that resulted in a temporary lockdown of several Trumbull schools. When police arrived at the scene, they believed that Maldonado was carrying a handgun when he ran away on foot. It wasn't until he was confronted by officers that he dropped the weapon, and it turned out to be a BB gun. Much more on that story at TrumbullTimes.com. And for the second time in 4 months, a Westport man was arrested for wielding a weapon after he held a hatchet up to his front door Monday and refused to come out, according to Hearst, Connecticut media. After police responded to what they called a minor civil dispute on Richmondville Avenue, Kyle Owen and Carrie Owen went inside their home, according to Police Lieutenant David Farrell. Farrell said that Kyle then came to the door holding a hatchet and refused to come outside. He was yelling and swearing at officers and was seen walking aggressively in the house. Police said it was determined that Kyle and Kaylee were in their home with their juvenile child. Officers immediately set up a perimeter on the house and evacuated neighbors to safety. The Southwest Regional Emergency Response Team was called in with tactical officers and negotiators. Those negotiators were able to make contact with Carrie Owen after about 30 minutes, and Kyle Owen came out of the home shortly before noon. Officers said they had to take Kyle to the ground as he had attempted to run back into the house. Both of them face charges of risk of injury to a minor and interfering with police. They're scheduled to appear in court on May 26th. And a huge flash lit up the sky across New England around 1 a.m. Tuesday. Hundreds of people across the region reported seeing the flash, which was likely a fireball, a bright meteor or object that entered the Earth's atmosphere. NBC Connecticut reports that the site was captured on police dash cam in Portland, Maine. It illuminated the night sky for just a few seconds before fading away. Residents in Connecticut in towns like Seymour, Hartford, and Meriden also reported seeing the fireball. And Hartford police are investigating a double homicide that happened Monday night, according to WFSB. Police officers were called to the scene near Campfield Avenue and Cowell Street. They said calls reporting the incident started coming in around 10:30 at night. Officers identified the couple as 22-year-old Joshua Cortez of Hartford and 23-year-old Alicia Ocasio of Newington. Police said the incident was likely due to a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship issues that escalated among several people. Cortez was found in the street while Ocasio was found seated in a vehicle. Both were victims of apparent gunshot wounds, according to investigators. We're going to switch gears now and take one final look at the forecast with Rob.
All right, Kate, thank you. A slight chance of rain today, really in the afternoon. It is getting a little cloudy outside. Otherwise, will be cloudy with a high of 68 degrees. Tonight, chance of rain, cloudy, low 49. Wind out of the southwest from 5 to 10, and it'll become light and variable after midnight. To Wednesday, a chance of rain mainly before 9 in the morning and the north wind around 5, but otherwise, chance of precipitation only 30%. 50%. Fingers crossed we do have a baseball game. Wednesday night, partly cloudy, low 48. Partly cloudy and 50 for Thursday. To Friday, partly cloudy and 51. Chance of showers as we move through Saturday later in the day, but 69 Saturday afternoon. To the evening after 7, mostly cloudy, low 52. Partly sunny and 69 for Sunday, and mostly sunny and 70 for Monday. Greenwich, you're sitting right at 64. Temperatures remaining steady. Ridgefield at 62. Shelton at 62. Greenwich and Ridgefield, that's who we'll see later today at Cardinal Stadium, 4:30 here on the HAN Network.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. We're going to wrap things up on today's coffee break. Of course, coming up at 12:30 today, The Drive with Denise, 2 o'clock Nutmeg Sports, and as Rob said, 4:30 girls lacrosse. So be sure to check all of that out, and we'll be back with your coffee break tomorrow at 11.